Hey everyone! Today we're going to be looking at page 260 in your books, and we're just going to do a quick little two-hand accompaniment harmonization for a written out melody. So if you look here, you've actually got your chords notated for you in a sort of lead sheet style above the staff, so you can look through and see exactly what chords they want you to use. In measure 3, you'll notice there is no chord symbol. That's just because the D7 continues on from measure 2. So just be aware of that there. You're free to use the exact same D7 chord that is written there in that measure, or if you'd like to experiment and get a little bit creative as you go, you can change the inversion of the right hand. What I would encourage you to do to make this assignment maybe a little simpler and consistent across the board is to keep the root of each chord in the left hand. And that's the only note that you're going to play with the left hand. So what I would start with is just notating out all of the notes that are the root and just go right through. You're going to want to be careful when you get down to measure 5, because you're going to want to work in and out of these E minor and A minor chords to get back to kind of where we started with D7 and G. If you play the G chord as written here, so that's the same as in measure 1. When you go to the E minor chord, if you play here in this octave, the E, and then try to go play a root position E minor chord, that's going to be really awkward to play and maybe a little bit awkward in the sound. So you have some options there. You can keep the E in that inversion, in that octave, and then play the right hand starting on the G and invert that chord. Or if you really like playing an E minor chord, maybe jump the left hand down to a low E there. And same thing with the A. If you want to play A here, there, or here, both of those sound fine. So just be mindful as you're going, how does the right hand have to move to get to these positions? Is it awkward? Does it overlap with the left hand? Or like this, for instance, if I take the E minor all the way up here and play here or here, there's a really big gap in between my hands. So when I break it apart, or here, maybe we don't like that big spread. And that's something that you can listen to on your acoustic piano as you're playing, or if you don't have access to that, you can use a software like Finale or MuseScore or one of the free softwares that are available for inputting the notes and playback. That's pretty important for this, I think. If you don't have access to any of that, I would still encourage you to use the paper keyboards that you have and check for how big the leaps are, whether the hands are overlapping at all. You don't want any hand crossings going on. Basically, we're just trying to use as many common tone notes throughout the chords as we can so that we have a smooth transition with the right hand. Now, when you get back to the D7 chord, depending on where you've left off with the E minor and A minor chords, you might be someplace like here then, with an F sharp all the way up there instead of this. And if you remember kind of the rule for your leading tone, which is F sharp, it always wants to go back to the tonic. So just beware, whatever inversion you are in, if you're playing that F sharp, try to get it to lead back up instead of doing something like this. That doesn't really give that final sound to it. So as you're practicing, or as you're writing out your pieces this week, just be mindful of how you're moving, how the sounds are resolving, and just have fun with this. This can be a real opportunity to show your creativity. This is due on Friday, April 3rd, and if you write it in your book, which you're more than welcome to do, you can just scan that with Cam Scanner or Turbo Scanner or something like that, and upload that file to Canvas. And if you're using a Finale file, you may have to convert it to a PDF to get it to upload to Canvas. But you can just try that and see how that works. So looking forward to seeing all of your work, and have a great week.